Cyberpunk, you can get Johnny's entire outfit for your V. Throughout the game's main campaign, you will obtain one piece of the outfit. This is Johnny's tank top, given to you during the final Tapeworm event at the Hotel Pistis Sophia. A replica of his jacket is obtained during the side job Chippin' In, his glasses during the follow-up side job A Cool Metal Fire, his pants during the Haywood gig Psycho Fan, and the boots during the Rogue gig Family Heirloom. In the Carrie Uridine side job, A Like Supreme, V will partake in the Samurai Reunion concert, filling in for Johnny. During the mission, the game will automatically place whatever Johnny items you have onto V. As this side job is unlocked during Act 3 and after Chippin' In has been completed, the player will have the tank top, the jacket, and the glasses. In the event that you don't have the pants or the boots, they will be replaced by the durable windbreakers and street shoes with multi-layered protection, both of which can be found at vendors or as drops in the game. Since the gigs are not mandatory, I imagine a lot of players experience this. But what happens if you don't have any of Johnny's items? Normally, Johnny's items are marked as quest items, and quest items cannot be crafted or removed from your inventory. However, if you collect the entire set, the game for some reason allows you to stash or destroy them all, even ahead of this mission. So I did that and went ahead with A Like Supreme. V still appeared to be wearing Johnny's jacket and glasses, but the shirt was something different. We already knew about the pants and boot substitutes, but it appears the game has a failsafe to always spawn the glasses and jacket, so you'll get another copy of those that are marked as quest items. The tank top, however, did not have a duplicate and was instead substituted by the simple biker aramid weave turtleneck, which can be bought at the vendor in Northside. I imagine not many people have experienced this, as there's too many variables to make it happen. I'm also a bit surprised the tank top is not duped. I guess they figured it isn't as important as the jacket or glasses, despite being the only item obtained from a main job. Whatever the case is, it's pretty cool to find out about the backup made for this scenario. That does it for this video. Thanks for watching. Alright, I got a comment or two asking where the Blackwall is located in-game. A good question, since it's one of the coolest experiences during the campaign. Unfortunately, the answer is a bit lame. With the use of photo mode, you can read the coordinates at the top to determine where in the game world you are located. When you enter the Voodoo Boys Cybernet, you are actually still in the Maglev tunnel as far as player coordinates are concerned. So rather than teleporting you somewhere else, the game just lays the BBS texture over top of the location. Same goes with the actual Blackwall. Its location is close to pressing up against the walls of the tunnel. I tried no clipping away from the Blackwall, but there is a reset boundary that continually activates if you have boundary teleportation turned off using CyberEngine tweaks. This makes exploration more or less impossible. So yeah, a bit of a bummer answer, but sadly the Blackwall isn't really a location, just something unique rendered during the mission. In Cyberpunk, V can throw a basketball twice. The first is during the Corpo prologue. After you land on the roof of Lizzie's bar, you have to launch the ball at the guy's face, otherwise they will hold on to it. After that, you can interact with the ball off to the side. Even though that rattled in, that was an impressively far make. The second time is a bit of a hidden interaction and takes place in the Phantom Liberty mission Lucretia My Reflection. Before meeting with Reed, you sit at the Andrew Jackson basketball court and watch some NPCs play. At some point, Reed will show up and tell you to meet him at his car. If you sit at the court and wait long enough, the two guys playing will eventually stop and leave their basketball. The ball can then be shot or dunked with a reflex check.
Be on the court, baby. Check this out.
And the crowd goes wild. For a fucking refund.
See if I still got the old moves.
Nice. Might not get your ass handed to you after all.
So it seems like V is actually pretty good at basketball. I made a video a while ago where I looked for basketball courts around Night City and found a buttload, so it's not exactly a surprise for an NC native to have grown up playing it. Even nomads can play, as there were some hoops out in the Badlands. Corpo V grew up in Charter Hill, and that district has a beautiful basketball court. Night City also has a professional basketball team called the Blackouts. On some computers, you can find a page called NC Sports, and visiting it will show you that the Blackouts recently lost a game to the New York Executioners. During the side job Heroes, this is what Misty says if you scan the ball in Jackie's garage.
Basketball signed by Dante Gonzalez.
He was from Haywood, too. Everyone here shot hoops. Dante ran circles around him. I think he might have been the first kid to ditch the Valentinos.
Like Jackie?
Mm-hmm. They both wanted more out of life. Dante's captain of the NC Blackouts now.
That would at least explain why Street Kid V would be good at basketball. Anyways, it would seem like every incarnation of V has basketball skills because of these Dogtown interactions. And since the dunk is simply a reflex check, I suppose V could even do it without cyberware. Although I don't know if the hoop height is properly scaled. I don't believe V has an officially listed height, and it's a bit difficult to approximate, but he or she appears to be the average height that most characters are in the game. Some of the male characters like Jackie, Reed, and River are taller. The larger bodybuilders like Rhino, Sasquatch, and Razor are also taller. I saw a comment on Reddit saying that the Blender models for both Vs were about 180 centimeters, making them both roughly 5'11". Whatever the case, if V is in the territory of being around 6 feet tall, then being able to dunk without cyberware is a pretty impressive feat. If anyone from CDPR or Virtuous catches wind of this, please consider adding the Dogtown animations to more random hoops within the city. We need more opportunities to show off V's basketball skills. That does it for this video. Thanks for watching. This is Reno from the side job Spellbound, and this is Nancy's son Dan from the Rogue Gig family heirloom. As you can see, they basically occupy the same spot, which is at the O Cabanon bar in Charter Hill. So can you manage to get both to spawn at the same time? Yup. All you gotta do is obtain Reno's number from Nyx at the start of Spellbound. You can call her immediately or later, it doesn't really matter. Then you do family heirloom as usual. Once you steal the bootlegs and car, you drive over to the bar and Dan should be spawned. If you called Reno earlier, she should be there too, otherwise you can call her now and she'll spawn in. Now you just walk up to them and watch as V handles 2 conversations at the same time.
I've got your bootlegs.
Yeah?
Huh? What bootlegs? What are you talking
Spellbook.
about?
You got it? The samurai concerts.
I do indeed.
The ones you hired me to find.
Tucked away somewhere safe. You want coordinates? I need to see my money.
Ooh, yeah, totally. Why didn't you say so?
Ouch.
Shit, man, Shimura.
Hardwire
Get the
customer
wheels
service
too?
just ain't what it used to be.
Huh?
You don't get along with your mom?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Sure you do.
You
Got
know,
a pretty good idea.
I don't even
of who
remember
you
the
are.
last time I
Bargain
called her
basement
mom.
dress suit, back alley implants.
Don't even call
you
her
are
Best
almost
Isis,
a cutout from a
Mother,
corporate recruiting
or
brochure.
Nancy.
Hang on, this is
The
fun.
incredible, one and only
Found something in a dusty
Best
corner of the
Isis.
warehouse,
Shit.
trying to hawk it off on the side. What would your manager say?
What?
I mean,
that
not like
allowed?
your KPIs can
You
include
know how
your
hard it is when your
under-the-counter
parents
deals.
famous? You don't.
The fuck
Nobody
you want?
does. Maybe Yorinobu Arasaka.
Discount. Something real. Spark downstairs. Keys are in the ignition.
Oh, get fucked,
What?
Scott Shitter.
Great,
For
got
real?
that out of your
That's
system.
fucking
Now let's
far
get down
out,
to biz.
Shum. I
You got
won't
a deal,
forget
or
this.
do I gotta make some calls?
Just flicked you the coordinates.
We'll see.
Aside from this, I'm not sure if there's another scenario in the game like it, but if you know of one, let me know in the comments. That does it for this video. Thanks for watching. A while ago, Eric Cardinal 9138 asked about the space part of the Path of Glory epilogue. Luckily, I had a save at this mission from a few patches ago, so I can easily investigate this. Also, sorry for the wait. Anyways, there isn't much to unpack in this one, so I'll keep it brief. This final part of Path of Glory is only rendered for the mission, including the Space Shuttle, the Crystal Palace, and Earth. But for the lore answer, the Crystal Palace is somewhere between Earth and the Moon, which is called Luna in the Cyberpunk universe. In my second Out of Bounds video, I covered Arasaka Orbital, and this is pretty similar in that the general area is very high up in the air over the Badlands. There's nothing there outside of the mission. For reference, this is what Night City looks like from this altitude. The Path of Glory space shuttle is just slightly higher than Arasaka Orbital, and that likely makes it the highest rendered location in the game world. If you remember the broken bridge from Scorpion's funeral mission, it's pretty close to that spot on the map. There's also a custom skybox used to prevent you from seeing the ground, and if you descend far enough you can actually exit it. The space shuttle is well detailed on the inside, all of which you can see during the mission itself. The outside, however, is only modeled on the side that V exits from, which makes sense. The Crystal Palace is an actual model and looks awesome, but is more of a miniature used in conjunction with perspective to trick you into thinking it's really huge. Common movie making technique. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still a large model relative to V, but this is supposed to be a space city, so you can imagine how big it would actually be. The Earth is like half of a giant textured sphere, using the same perspective trick. If you pass through it, there is no backside. I did find this weird white plane slightly above the space shuttle, which surprisingly has collisions so you can walk on it. And there we have the location of the space part of the Path of Glory ending. I've talked about the Crystal Palace in a few videos now, and it's so sick I'll probably talk about it again in the future. Crossing my fingers that it appears in Orion. That does it for this one, thanks for watching. The side jobs featuring the Zen Master involves watching 4 meditative brain dances focusing on the elements. What's interesting about these is that they are some of the only brain dances in the game that do not require any interaction. These Zen Master BDs are real-time renderings and not some pre-rendered sequences. The first 3 take place in a forest. This forest is rendered far out of bounds in the Badlands. But outside of the mission, only part of the forest is rendered, mostly the trees. If you've seen my prologue montage breakdown video, we can use that same Locations Unlocked mod to spawn the rest of the forest. The forest does not normally have ground collisions, so the mod creator had to put some in here. Performance on my dated system absolutely tanks when arriving there, so I can see why they despawned most of this stuff. Normally you can't do anything during these brain dances, including use photo mode. But the third person mod can be used, and you can see that both V and the Zen Master have been teleported to this location. The last brain dance is not in the forest and is pointed at the top of some mountains. V and the Zen Master are suspended in the air, and this spot is out in the Badlands, past the protein farms and border crossing. Off in the distance you can see the town of Yucca from the Nomad prologue mission. So there we have the locations of the forest and mountains featured in the Zen Master brain dances. A bit of interesting world usage for some brief moments in the game. That does it for this video, thanks for watching. The Highwayman is a secret side job in Cyberpunk 2077, but you probably already knew that. The typical way to start it is by opening a garage at the back of Santo Domingo, close to the bottom of the damn wall. However, there's actually another way to start this mission, a secret to the secret mission. In Santo Domingo, there's an unremarkable looking house close to the Almunicar and Jerez terminal. This house apparently belongs to James Ito, the guy that you're meant to track down during the quest. If you open the garage, you can find a computer, and V will do the same photo animation as if you had opened the normal garage, although without the photo. This will also start the quest. The house interior is actually fairly detailed with furniture, but it definitely lacks polish. It's possible that they planned for this to be the original starting point of the side job, but ended up moving it to the other garage. Maybe they thought this wouldn't be as easy to find or that an entire house was unnecessary. Nevertheless, this is a pretty random but interesting thing that has been left in the open world. That does it for this video. Thanks for watching. Cyberpunk's Tapeworm mission happens in 4 parts. The content of each part follows the same sequence, but they can occur at different locations. I made a video on this if you don't know what I'm talking about. During the 3rd event, V can open the conversation by telling Johnny he knowingly nuked a bunch of people without remorse. Johnny's response to this can actually differ depending on how many people V has lethally eliminated up to that point. If V has lethally eliminated enemies, which I imagine is the norm for most players, Johnny will say this.
You knew countless people would die. Don't kid yourself.
Take lives aplenty yourself. See scale as a problem?
If V has been a pacifist, Johnny will instead say this.
You knew countless people would die. Don't kid yourself.
Oh, right. Forgot you're the gentle type. No killing. Problem is, you let loads of others do loads of killing for you.
Pretty cool, right? And even if you meet the criteria, you could still miss it by choosing the other dialogue options. With this 3rd event occurring outside the church, my last takedown was on Placide. Yeah, even in my pacifist runs, I can't bring myself to side with the VDBs. Those sons of bitches. I had been using the ultimate kill counter mod, so I knew my count was at 0. I decided to test if even a single lethal elimination would trigger the non-pacifist response. And the answer is yes. So in order to get Johnny to say the pacifist dialogue, it appears you need 0 lethal eliminations. Without mods, keeping track of your elims is ridiculously hard. The Act 1 car chases are especially dangerous. Plus, apparently robots, mechs, and drones would register as killed in the base game, which the kill counter mod changes to defeated. I complained about the dialogue in my pacifist run since I only had 1 kill by my count, but without knowing the actual stats, I may have put down a bunch of enemies when factoring in the car chases and the robots. I'd read about this dialogue online but couldn't find any footage of it, so I'm happy to have it recorded as well as set the record straight from my pacifist run. That does it for this video. Thanks for watching. In the side job Burning Desire / Night Moves, the one where you help out Flaming Crotch Man, there's actually a hidden tech check that occurs automatically in the dialogue. Your tech level will determine whether or not V recognizes the model of Mr. Stud that is set to destroy Jesse's nut bag. To confirm this, I booted up an old save and did a stat reset before the mission and dumped all my points into everything but tech. This is the interaction with a low tech rating.
Listen, if your input ever thinks about getting a Mr. Stud, you knock that gonk idea right out of his head.
Thanks. Noted.
I said, I'm telling you, man. Don't ever get a Mr. Stud.
Never the plan, but thanks, noted.
And here's the higher tech rating response, which is the same for both the male and female voice.
Let me guess. Mr. Stud, XCV-19 series.
Yeah. How'd you know?
I know my implants, including the black market stuff.
Faulty series. Got recall. Still selling it on the street, though.
I'm not sure what the exact threshold is, but I did try this again with 6 points in tech and got the line. Either way, it is a cool little detail that you might not have noticed. Now that's what I call neat. Most of the doors in Cyberpunk slide open, but you may find a few that swing open. When a door slides open, it doesn't simply disappear into oblivion, it physically moves into the wall, and sometimes there isn't enough room for the door to do that. If some of these doors were to slide over, they would clip into the next room. So the answer is to have them swing open, whether it's a simple prompt or a body check. Once in a while, you may come across a set of double doors that swing open, likely for the same reason. This is probably the oddest one I've come across. Evidently, this does not look like it's going to be a sliding one, as there is no room on either side of the door, so it's going to swing open, right? Okay. Well, I guess that's another way of doing it, but this has the same problem in that having the door slide up requires ample space above the door to do it. This is part of the Santo Gig desperate measures at the diner you are eventually sent to. Most of the diners shaped like this don't even have doors, so I'm not sure why this one in particular does. Anyways, I had some ideas for a more extravagant April Fool's video, but I couldn't get anything to work out in time, so sorry about that. I know it's not much of a consolation prize, but hopefully you enjoyed this video about the game's doors. In the Act 1 main mission Automatic Love, you're meant to have 3 fairly lengthy conversations. The first is with the doll that you get matched up with. The second is with another doll named Tom. And the third is with Woodman. Despite these being objectives, you can actually skip the first 2 and head straight to Woodman, provided you know where his office is. In doing so, you will get unique dialogue with Tom during the Judy side job talking about a revolution. Here's what Tom normally says.
Hey V, come on in. Pizza's getting cold.
And here's what he says if you did not meet him during Automatic Love.
Hey, Tom Caldera. You must be V.
Hey, Tom. Pleasure to meet you.
Same. Come on. Pizza's getting cold.
After meeting Roxanne, you'll then get a list of dialogue options, of which you can only pick 2 before Michael rockets out of the bathroom. One of these is continued from having just met Tom.
You work at Clouds too?
Better than waiting on Suits. Dream was to go into showbiz though.
In the mission after Auto Love, the space in between, you can choose not to tell Judy you're heading to Fingers. Judy will show up anyways, and V can ask Judy how she knew to go there. Unfortunately, there's no unique dialogue for skipping Tom here, and the game will use the same response as if V had not called Judy, but did meet Tom.
This friend of yours, who is it?
Tom Caldera. Works as a doll there. Never bothered to mention Evelyn had disappeared when we talked. And then you came around asking questions. Got him scratching his head.
Didn't strike me as the brightest bulb of the batch.
Sorry, but right now, I could give a shit about what does or does not strike you.
Anyways, that's some more dialogue you may have never heard before. And that's what I call neat. On a previous video, I got a comment from @unnecessaryend saying that there may be a hidden skill check at the beginning of the Delamain questline. This is from Tune Up, a side job unlocked at the start of Act 2, after V's car is totaled by a rogue Delamain. V is instructed to go to Delamain headquarters to receive compensation. After arriving, an NPC will complain about V skipping the line when first talking to Del. It appears that a hidden body check occurs at this point, which gives V the opportunity to snap back. Here's the interaction with only 3 points in body and the rest dumped in the other skills.
Hey, Del.
Hello, sir or madam. How can I be of service?
Hey! She was lost in line.
With an adequate amount of points in body, the exact number I'm unsure of, it appears that a dialogue choice is unlocked to respond to this NPC.
How can I be of service?
Hey! She was lost in line.
Well, now I'm in the front. That a problem?
No, it's fine.
Hello, sir or madam. How can I be of service?
Hey! He was lost in line.
Well, now I'm in front. That a problem?
No, it's fine.
So there we have another example of a passive skill check occurring that results in extra dialogue. And I would say that is pretty neat. On a previous video, 2 commenters had a slight disagreement about whether or not there was a passive skill check in the side job Kold Mirage. When investigating the fridge in the Badlands containing a deceased Raish Bartmoss, V can recognize him with enough intelligence. V will subsequently also recognize Bartmoss's cyber deck.
Wow. An SGI Tech Elisla. Best cyber deck in its class.
See? Worth getting a little rot on your hands sometimes.
Alternatively, here's what V says about the deck if V did not recognize Bartmoss.
What do we got here? Looks like a box.
You're a fucking box. Try Cyberdeck.
The confusion here is on whether or not the skill check for the deck is passive or not. Based on my testing, the line of dialogue for the deck is entirely dependent on whether or not you choose the int-based dialogue at the start. On a build with maxed intelligence, I decided to choose the regular dialogue instead. And when scanning the deck, V does not recognize it despite having enough intelligence to have passed the first check. Therefore, in order for V to recognize the deck, you have to choose the int-based dialogue. If you don't, V will not recognize it even if you have adequate intelligence. So hopefully that clears it up. Kind of a weird way for it to work, but that's what makes this game neat. On a previous video, there was an interesting comment chain started by Somnitian on some dialogue in the game's final mission. Let's check out everything here. To start, this revolves around the game's secret ending, Don't Fear the Reaper. To unlock it, you need to make these 3 dialogue choices during the Act 3 job Chippin' In. Somnitian's initial comment is about this particular exchange between Johnny and V when leaving Embers, in which V is actually the one that suggests going solo on Arasaka.
You got a problem with that? Cause that's what we wanted. We know where
The gates to Mikoshi. Yeah, beneath Saka Tower. And what's that give us?
What?
What's that fucking give us?
Don't want to team up with Hanako? Can't blame you. Neither do I. What do you say to doing things the old-fashioned way? We make some calls, load up on iron, then we kick down the door to Arasaka Tower.
You want to lead an all-out assault on Saka Tower? Jesus Christ. You can barely stand on your own 2 feet.
Johnny.
Great, you checking out again?
@Coldtrain also confirmed the existence of this dialogue, and @Xanonax said that they may have even gone straight from the elevator to raiding Arasaka HQ. A 4th commenter @Sludgebomb said that this dialogue is earned by unlocking the secret ending and stopping at Blistering Love, which would unlock Rogue's ending. As it turns out, you actually don't need to do anything special for this dialogue to appear, as I was able to achieve it on a save that had no additional endings unlocked. So it seems like the only variable here requires not having Rogue's ending unlocked, as that changes Johnny's demeanor and will result in a less hostile interaction. However, in order for V to be able to suggest the raid, you have to select We Know Where Mikoshi Is for the first dialogue choice. If you do, your dialogue choices will look like this, and if you don't, then the option to suggest a solo raid won't be there. You still end up at Victor, so no instant teleportation, and you will have to go through the typical 5-minute wait for the secret ending. The dialogue that begins Don't Fear the Reaper is then exactly the same, but Johnny's lines are written in a way that still works if V suggested the raid initially. Anyways, hopefully that clears things up on this specific set of dialogue from Nocturne Opus 55 No. 1. Regardless of how you get it, I'd say it's pretty neat. On a previous video, I got a comment from the Violet Thunder about some hidden dialogue in the side job gun music. This is the one where the Aldecaldos are working out a deal with the scavengers. You probably have noticed in the distance that there is a scav sniper positioned on a rooftop. It turns out that scanning the sniper allows V to low-key point him out to the avocados. It is also a timed reflex check, and the timing on being able to say it is extremely tight. It's during that brief window where Roman starts talking on the phone. I've only been able to have the dialogue overlap the previous part of the conversation.
But
Don't know if there's
we
gonna
really
be
need this money.
later.
Like, badly.
Sniper.
Hush up now.
They're behind the silo.
You can conversate all you want. Dummy to heck.
The most fascinating thing about this is that the sniper will be referenced in both outcomes of the mission. If you fight the scavs, V can bring up the sniper when saying it would have gone to shit anyways.
Real big help you were back there. You and your big city talk.
Why do you think they had a sniper? It would have ended up like this anyway.
Maybe. Never find out now, will we?
Let's not get torn up now.
If V threatens the scavs with adequate body, then V will also mention the sniper during that speech.
If I were you, I'd think real hard about your next move. You're right. I was the one who took out your chooms in Watson. Shot 'em like fish in a barrel. Why do you think this'll play out any different? 'Cause you got us surrounded? 'Cause you put some dipshit with a sniper on a roof? Take a look at me. A real good one. You see my implants? I could slice you into ribbons before you can squeeze a trigger. I know it. You know it.
So there we have some pretty awesome hidden dialogue in the side job gun music. It unfortunately doesn't come out too cleanly, but that doesn't stop it from being neat.